You guys are so good in this, and I'm a huge fan of both of you. And the show is so good. I binged it in like a day.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I love that.
Your characters have a really interesting dynamic as we learn kind of more about their past and how they're connected. Can you talk about that relationship a little bit?
Well, you learn that through the comics, but then also through the show, that Prioress and Grandfather have history. And that not that they work together.
Yeah.
I said that. Maybe
the way you said it salaciously, they have history. Ooh la la. Wait, I was like, what comics are you reading?
I meant in that the bond that you have when you fight with someone in a war. You know what I mean? There's that kind of intimacy that you're not gonna get on a dating app. So that's why there wasn't that. But you know, the history that comes along with that and following, I mean, you know, Grandfather is my boss. But I think there might have even been a time when I could have been promoted, but he got the job.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of referenced in the show, but it's a little bit more, you know, clear in the comics. You get some flashback moments where we see a period when Prioress and Grandfather, or you know, the who is now known as Grandfather, were partners in one of those big battle robots, you know, and that they were, you know, together fighting in this time war that's been happening for so long for them, that's been happening for so long, you know, and that then Grandfather has gotten promoted and is now kind of, you know, in this leadership position, but there is still that kind of bond between them where Prioress can poke at him and he can poke at her, and there's a history that's there that's just below the surface, so that it, you know, I think it gives a lot to what could be otherwise kind of these villain characters, but it gives them a personality and a history with each other that's really wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed when you guys were going at each other a little bit. That was always very funny.
Yeah.
And Jason, you know, he's hilarious, and I'm one of those people who stick to the lines, and Jason plays and improvises, and so it was wonderful to play with him and to exercise that muscle of being in the moment, and you know, some jazz.
Uh-huh. Adina was very generous too, very patient too, very patient. Well, I did a bunch of nonsense.
Awesome. And Adina, this is not your first time playing a character that kind of is introduced as a stoic warrior, but as we learn more, there's this kind of pain hidden underneath. How do you approach that kind of character?
Ooh, I guess my life, I'm a stoic warrior that's got some pain underneath, quite honestly. You know, I mean, I'm my job in life as an actor, what I've always wanted to do, you know, is to make the crew laugh and the producers cry. So that's what I tried to do.
I like that. That's great.
I love that. And Jason, you've played so many just hilarious offbeat characters, but how do you approach a character where the comedy kind of has this undertone of like threat or menacing?
Yeah, you know, I think that's kind of exactly what I was trying to find and trying to dial in is I wanted, you know, I think Adina is present for so much of the series in that first season as the threat, as the threat who is chasing them, who is, hunting them down in a lot of ways through these episodes. And for Grandfather to show up near the end of season 1 as this different energy, this kind of funny, Birkenstock wearing, kind of glib, laughing kind of guy. But then what's underneath it is true evil, or true, not evil, but malice, or, like a casual disregard for human life, let's say, is certainly present in some of the actions that he takes. And almost a delight in some of the more violent things that happen. And that was fun to play around with and find, so that, Grandfather can remain this kind of this looming antagonist, but also be somebody that the Paper Girls can have a conversation with that is fun and funny and interesting, and not just like, I'm gonna get you girls, like kind of thing. It's fun. It's fun to play a character that's that has a real undercurrent of menace, but presents as charming and funny and casual.
Yeah,
I've
I
dealt
would love
with
that
them
kind of
like
film.
that.
And then if you guys could have Paper Girls crossover with another comic book adaptation, be it Marvel, DC, or another one of Brian's, what would you pick?
I'm not a comic book expert. So, I'm going to have to think about the comics that I read. So it would be Archie and Veronica and Betty hanging out with the Paper Girls.
Sure. Paper Girls, they meet Jughead and and everybody from Riverdale.
Yeah, but before Riverdale, there was,
But no, I mean Riverdale the town, not Riverdale the TV show.
Yeah. So that's the comic book that I would binge on, and I always wanted to be Betty or Veronica, but I always was Mitch.
I'm trying to think. I mean, for me, the answer would probably be, I would love for it to cross over with another Brian K. Vaughan story. I would love for it to intersect with. Wouldn't it be great if we jumped to a future where we're inside of the Private Eye, or Saga, or anything that has wow, that would be incredible. He's so good at world building and so incredible at telling human stories inside of larger kind of genre facades, that I would love to watch for the Paper Girls to jump into a place where suddenly we see other characters from Brian K. Vaughan stories that we recognize.
I love it.
You're hearing that, you got to pitch that. That's brilliant.
That I would love the Brian K. Vaughaniverse.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to me. You both are just so incredible, and I can't wait for more people to see this series.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.